Amanera kanaka hama dzangu ndinyoni Tete Gire vachitsigirwa naTete Flow inoti tikati svondo I think tiri tokanga toti mazuva apera maviri aya yakadii nokuti ave tese musi wechitatu saka tiri kutwasai tiri kuti welcome to our chat this week. This week ndakaisa hangu mugroup but I can still go on kutaura tinasi kutaura nezvechii. This is in recognition of the day World Voice Day. Yakanga iri musi Friday. Also, there were also talks of mental health and all that stuff. Although there's a mental health day in September, they also put into this. Saka isusu semana kana tete taungawo nyaya iyoyo kuti as we celebrate this day, toda kuremember, toda kuunza inonzi chipo tingaiti china anti-flow vanhu tingati toda kuunza nyaya highlight nyaya yekuzvitora kweupenyu ndo zvinonetsa shona yakangooma chirungu chinoti suicide but shona yakangooma tinatotsvaga zira zvinonatsoti dwedwe anyway yekuzvitora kweupenyu inyaya inorwadza tiri kuhighlighta hallo mucha welcome so that at least nhasi tiri kunatsoona kuti tiri kupinda macomments saka isai macomments enyu and mafone number kuinda nhasi mafone number haana kubuda ndichakaresa mafone number apo ekufona Tete Gire yavo yokutanga yechipiri ndeyaTete Flow in case you want to talk nendevere saka toda kutaura neizvozvo hatisi kutaura yamhona kutaura ndaisa disclaimer hatisi kutaura seexpert dzinoziva this issue apa tiri kutouya nokuti kurwadziwa nokuti pane nyaya dzamunonzwa everyday ndichataurawo nyaya dzandaona this week chete nelast week dzaitika musociety medu so zvikasaripoti hazvirevi kuti hazvisi kuitika zviri kuitika saka isusu toda zviri kutiita wari nokuti zvakazembera kuvana vedu vakomana especially nevanhu vechirume kuti mastatistics anotaura kuti ndo nhamba hombe isusu hatisatagara tikotaura pano kuti hatina tonzwisisa vana vedu vechikomana inofunga nokuti tiri vanamai but still sanamai tinoti tinotarisa saka ndo nyaya dzatoti nhasitaure saka tichatungemirwa iyi nyaya naTete Flow. Ini ndichapota ndichisawo neresearch yangu yandawanawo zvandoda kubvunzwa mubvunzo muvanhu kuti ndizvo here ko tozvifambisa sei nokuti isusu vana Tete vari panapa tinoda kuuya tese tichiti ngatisenzei tose takabatana secommunity yedu tione chii tatingabatsirane nacho pane maproblems ese anotishuwisa tichinzwa muno nokuti vamwe venyu just a little bit ndisandaisa kuna anti-flow recently kwakabuda mukomana mwana weku anogara akapira achienda kulauton achienda akadaro soto mukomana and then excellent student everything vanhu munhu wese akatarisa achimutarisa achifamba vanhu vese akataura zvavanotaurawo kuti ndakaona tichioka kungaiteverwa ndaita display but we don't know what was the state of mind yemwana uyu paakanga achienda kuende kuti aive the patient so we don't know anything so we never want to assume kuti chii sezvo iye asina kuita highlight kuti chii chakanga chichamunetsa mai vake vasingateli mwana uyu was discovered again about a week or 2 weeks ago kunzi akanga ashaya kuepinforest mumagurupu mese anamhama mese munhu wese womukadzi akasungwa kudai unoziva arwara mwana unochema yes uri kuona kuti arwara watry pawaita uyo kuti abva kumba kuseni wamupa breakfast then wodisappear for days or weeks wozowanikwa angori atoenda I think I don't know how to explain that because I've not been there ndosaka ndichidaro kuti zvinorwadza takarwadziwa nekungofunga chete kuti what is she going through what the mom is going through so ndo nyaya yatinaside kuhighlighta ende mwana mukomana kuti highlight nyaya ichione kuti what is it that we can do in society nokuti mamba chihighlightwa every year every week there's always issues dzinotaurwa and so forth and it looks like it's not ending saka ndidambosira kuna anti-flow tiwati welcome ndo vatatilidza nyaya iyoyi ini ndichapindawo nezvanei ndakawanawo more than you are welcome to come in and put your feedback to come in here mukabvunzwa mubvunzo isu tinoisawo back to the panel yekunze panel yemuno kana tatadza kupindura tinenge tichiziva panza pane mumwe anenge achiziva mhinduro saka ndichaisa mafone numbers apa anti-flow vatisanotaura chambotsvaka pokuisa phone number yako welcome anti-flow the floor is yours
Salibonani bazalwane ngimo anti-flow ngibuyelo anti-play lapho futhi sikhulume ngendaba enzima ebuhlungu kakhulu abantu abazibulalayo ngoba nge-Friday sabona ukuthi World Voice Day. So sasibona ukuthi abantu abayenza i-suicide sometimes it's a silent voice because babehlile ukuthi bekhulume lo muntu ukuthi beze beyenze njani. So like manero akanaka taxa ukuthi taure nenyaya ye-suicide because I think some people who've been touched have experienced it, although not close, but it was somebody alakakura naye. We were together, we knew each other for many years. I think when he was 2 or 4 and I was 6, Sakatakakura tasted for a long time, and it's something I think very painful for everyone. I can't even imagine to my parents and others who are in that way how painful it is because I know water. I see kana munachizura you almost feel like it's a rejection. Didn't want to be in your life. We thought that maybe we should talk about it, especially as I think culture yedu isusu the problems nezvinhu zvakadaro my emotions zvokutaura so you always feel like an African, but you always have to be strong, you always have to be happy. You can never show that there's something wrong with you or you are depressed or anything like that. So I was looking at it from angry, which is with our culture. Then they got started to put it into as Christians also. It is something that also you don't feel like you can talk about. Because as a Christian, it was almost like, your faith is not high enough, or that's why you are like, you can't be depressed. How can you be depressed? So I thought that I'd want to highlight that as well because we heard stories, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, I can't remember. There was a pastor in America. Neshondo pakachonga kuno preacher. He let his wife and his kids go ahead to take a piano tailor. When then he didn't turn up, they wondered, what's wrong? They went back home and still this is a pastor. So, but a pastor is a human being as well. But because he's a pastor, he probably didn't feel like he could open up or he could show that there's something wrong with him. Because you're supposed to be the pastor. You're supposed to be the one who is the solution. You're supposed to be the one that is strong. And there's also a story about somebody who was in the choir, a guy who killed himself in the choir. And people were puzzled to say how, he was in the choir, he was serving, so everybody is surprised. But I think it's because at Tauri, so you don't feel like you can talk about it. I'll talk a little bit about my story because I wrote something a few years ago. Now I'm somebody, I know garages cannot like I'm very cheerful, and I actually live with chronic pain. So I'm always in all the time. When we don't work at a like this. But even when like this, nobody knows until I tell you that there's something wrong with me, you can't tell. Unless can I do this, where you can tell that I'm in pain or I'm tired. Like Auntie can say, oh, you're looking really tired today because you've gotten used to me a little bit. So, but if I don't tell you that I live with pain, you wouldn't know that. So I think a few years ago things happened. So my dad passed away suddenly. Zimbabwe. We couldn't go to the funeral, me and my brother. I hadn't seen him for years. And then it was sudden, like within the space of an hour. People saw him, next hour he was gone. Not sick, nothing wrong with him, right? So then that happened. Then I was having problems at work at the same time. So all this then made my health worse. It triggered the health situation to get worse. And the person I was working for, I was working with my cousin. And when I say cousin, I mean close cousin, as in our mothers are sisters. Yeah, my mom is firstborn, his mom is secondborn. So I'd left my job and leave to go and join him to help him build up his business, and I was supposed to be a partner in the business. But when the time came now, suddenly decided I wasn't good enough to be in the business after I helped him build it up. And then the 22nd of December, Munakashika Akaguguza, 6 a.m. in the morning on the 22nd on a Saturday. Akuti, I've no longer got any employment. This is my cousin, first cousin, yeah, out of nowhere. unemployed. So imagine that my dad passed away, health is gone. Then my cousin does that. Then he finishes on top of that, left a voicemail insulting me, sent an email insulting me on top of that. Remember, I've not done anything. So all this is coming, right? So and I remember telling my friends I was with at the time. We used to go to church, and I was in the choir, and I used to was I leading prayers at that time? I can't remember if I was leading prayers at that time. I might not have started. So I told my friends, look, there's a season that is coming, and I can feel the darkness coming. I need you to stand in prayer for me. And my friend laughed at me. She said, Sister, you're the one who encourages us and prays for us and stands. If you backslide, what are we going to do? So like nothing like that can happen. But you're speaking in Debele. So she was like, she's slow. And I remember Muka backslide. Like I just straight I say, and I said, no, I'm serious. She was like, nah, nothing like that will happen. Before long it happened. So it was like I couldn't even go to church, and I love going to church. Don't- If I didn't go to church, I feel like there's something wrong. I, it wouldn't feel okay. I need to go to church. So I stopped going to church, and the pastor tried. I said, no, 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 no. I need a break from God at the moment. I think I've had enough. Just give me time. I can't deal with him at the moment because it seems like he doesn't care about me. So I need a break from him. I'm taking time off you know. So I know what it feels like to reach that. So I thought, why is this that as Christians? I know my friends who are Christians are complaining. Uh, and the people who are outside are okay. But us in here, we're depressed, we are discouraged, we, we are angry, we are bitter, we are everything, we are sick, whatever it is, you know. And then, so I was like, okay, what's wrong? So I started then. I'm a person who likes to research to find things out. I started researching, and I can't remember what I was doing. Spiritual depression came into my mind. So I said, spiritual depression, what is that? So I started Googling, what is spiritual depression? And do you know, there was nothing on depression that was written by Christians. Nothing. Apart from one name Christ. Depression yes was by vanhu vari kunze. So and then I feel, and then my sister said, no, look for a counselor, Ari Christian. I was in Manchester at the time. The only nearest one I could find was in Wolverhampton. So there was nothing even in my area where I could go to another Christian and get counseling. Saka, then you find with a church, you can't say I'm depressed.
I don't know. I mean, you'll be saying the truth because what term would you use when you are a Christian? Nemutauro depressed. Nyango chinamata. It happens. I mean, I think the things that tokanganwa isusu vanhu sevanhu izvi. Tisati tapuwa malabels ese atinawo ekuti kana kuti mukadzi, mwana, murume, mukomana, musikana. We are human beings. We get feelings. We get sad. We get even those feelings even before you are a Christian. That is the level that comes. So before that, I think kuti munhu anzi uri mukristu haukwanisi kuti ndiri depressed. Handizvinzwisisi.
No, but this was the report. Zvakafanana kumukatora kwatinobva culture yedu. Munhu achari depressed. No.
I think avatonzwisisi what is depression to start with. Yakouya nevanhu vekudiaspora kuti depressed. I'm depressed. I think kumusha kwedu depression is not something
you don't say that. Saka unongoramba uchingoenda on. It's the same as Christian mentality, and especially I'm talking about my Pentecostal churches, especially because that's where I've experienced it most. So you can't even talk about it. People will say to you, my sister, you don't have faith. You need to increase your faith. What has faith got to do with depression? Your situation will change. What does that have to do with prayer or being depressed the way you are? So, so far, God, we should show each other compassion and say, and in terms of maturity, let's remind ourselves that this is a person, even a pastor is a person too. So even if some people will not show it because I don't actually lead them church, and then the think, so what will people think if now I show the chi, obey you and you are forced to just keep quiet and not say anything, keep going until it becomes too much because you feel like you can't talk about it. But when I thought about spiritual depression, I then went to the Bible because when I was sent to Elijah. What Elijah went through is spiritual depression. It doesn't say so in the Bible. You're not taught it, but that is spiritual depression. It's when your faith is attacked by your circumstances. That's spiritual depression. I still here because whether you're mentally ill or anything like that, it's coming because of an attack. That way. So he just before that, a page or so ago, you read quickly. Angauraya 450 prophets of Baal, one guy. But
Nimbo flow. Timboisa ma-comments a bit pana tintinati maneri ndamupindura ngataiwa tiripo mutati it's really sad. That is the topic here to see how do you deal with not depression, how do you deal with suicide. Tintin says depression is in the Bible, might not have been labeled as depression, but it was experienced by the men of God in plural. I'm a prophet and everything. Maybe some of them even just normal people in there, they went through depression, but that is not labeled as depression. In the audience, come in and join us. We are empty joining the topic. You can phone in, the lines are there on the screen. You can phone in to talk and give your feedback. Like we always say, we are not expecting this, but this thing has been going on in our community. We want to come together and see what is it that we can help each other, or we, especially single parents. Munevana, tinevana vedu vakomana and so forth. How do we identify these, risk factors that lead to suicide? Muvana varume vedu vatina umzimba. You can go on and see it, Flo.
yeah, and in the Bible it says does not label that. But not only is it labeled that, it's not taught as well. I just did the same with the chief. Pentecostal, you're made to feel like once everything goes well. That's what you're made to think. Prosperity gospel tells you once you've come to God, everything will be okay. Give your money, everything will be okay. Everything will be beautiful.
Once you pay your tithe.
Yeah. Everything is beautiful. But the truth is that's not the truth. The truth is you will go through trials and battles. And Jesus told you even more because you've decided to be on the side of God, the authority that is around you is going to fight you. The authority on earth is the devil. So you're not on his side. So you're going to be fought immediately if you become a Christian. But it knows that everything will be fine. You give your money, it's fine, everything. So what do you do when it's not fine?
Comment Mucha. I think it's us saying as Christians you cannot be depressed. But Jesus said he came to heal the sick. That includes mentally, physically, and spiritually. Yes. I think sometimes people do not really cast all the troubles on the one who can carry them. There is too much expectations as well on each other sometimes. I agree. Okay, vanwe kunoti ino yapayo but I think yauya ipapa hanzi nayewu makadipa naiwa tiripo yewu ndizive kuti wapinda mukati because I can't see you on the main one here. Amene zvaineta ndofunga but tiripo.
I know Kuti, you're saying give it to the one who did, but what do you do when your faith in God is the one that has been attacked? You say put it on Jesus, but when you are in spiritual depression, the last thing you have is that Jesus is there to help you, God is there to help, because you feel like God has turned away from you. That's the practical thing. That is what happens. You feel like he's turned away. Elijah got in Dindega. That's Sarah.
I think that's kuri kupinda makomenti anoda kungotoaddress chinzwa vanhu zvano kuti sorry handito mopota muchitaura muchimira ndichiverenga achingi ndichiverenga makomenti pane comment yapinda from greetings ati would you say Christianity is part of the problem when it comes to depression as in people think you only need to have faith or be a believer mazvinzwa here vanopa makomenti. And is Christianity part of the problem when it comes to depression?
Christianity is not the problem. Christians are the problem. Because it's not Christianity that tells you not to be depressed. Christianity tells you you will have trials and you will have tribulations. However, he's going to be there. Even Jesus himself had trials and tribulations. He was so upset that his sweat was like drops of blood. So Christianity is not an issue, no. It's Christians who are the problem. Because some rules of you can't be depressed. It's not God that puts those rules. It's us who put that to say, like, make people feel like they can't be depressed. Like you can't say your faith in God has been compromised, like you're not feeling like God is for you. Some people get even surprised, say, forgive God. People think, why are you forgiving God? Yes, there's times when you need to, not because he's done anything, but because of how you feel. You feel like God has turned away from you. He cares about everybody else, but you know that it looks like he doesn't care because God, why are you letting everything come? Just like every day you wake up, there's an issue. Every area of your life, there's an issue. When you look at health, there's a problem. You look at relationships, there's a problem. At work, problem. Everywhere. So when you're in that situation, you can't lean on God because God is the problem when you're in that situation. I'm not saying that he has, but you have to understand the mindset, your moon was at the situation.
Which is anti-fraud, I think, notapenda kuchikristu mo tichitaura nezveizvozvi nezvenyaya iyi kuti yazopinda yamuchikristu but what we are saying here tinoda kutsaya kuti tione tingahighlight say kuti okay kune vamwe vasiri machristians and they still go through that. So the questions we wanted to pose more is why is it that mostly when you look at all the statistics they say it's all mostly men. Say my statistics are higher for men and lower for women. This is because women we talk and we are mostly emotional, so it's easier for us to rant out. And once men they have to put that like they say in this category because of the gender roles. They put the women to be tough. And here all these avenues, why is it that let's say there is less help towards the same gender which is having a lot of problems?
Okay. No, I was tackling the Christianity first before going to this one, but that's fine. It's men between the ages of 45 and 49. I think
my comments too. 2 Mucha says but I think other people are not really open enough to ask for help. That's the thing. Because you can't give help or sometimes people go to a person who can't help. It can be either. Then Brit says the people who are vessels of God tend to say devote to God and have no worries. But you tend to see evil communities that end up being from poor communities and are taking advantage of.
No, but when people are not opening up, it's because they feel like one atmosphere where it won't be. Sometimes because they feel like it won't be received, the fact that they have an issue. Like if you take me as an example, I told my friends what I was going through. I told them how I felt, but they disappeared. I had to work it through by myself because even though I opened up, nobody helped. And even the pastor didn't help. So in some people, it's not because they don't want to open up, it's because they feel like they can't. Some people, it's like maybe for them to feel like they can say, somebody approaches them and makes them feel like, yes, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling like that. I'm here if you need to talk. Sometimes that's all that we need. But Auntie was talking about the statistics. So the statistics say in England that wari 45 to 49 warume ndiwo wari the highest number for my age group kuzviuraya. And then we were looking at that to say why specifically kuri varume vari 45 to 49, why specifically that age range. Saka pavakaita survey vakati hanzi it's the less affluent men vari kuzviuraya. So because they are worrying about failure, though, especially when they look now, let's say for pandemic for 2020, and worried about losing their jobs, worried about losing their businesses, worried about losing, becoming homeless because they were worried about the payment of mortgage, rent, so they were worried about being able to provide for their family. And they looked and they said, age range, so then it becomes more difficult for them. And then I think also because around 45 to 49, you are a bit, you will measure yourself a bit harder because you'll be thinking that you should have gotten a bit further in life. On a harsh kappa stage, you're 45 to 49. You are different from a 24-year-old. So 24-year-olds are not going to forget. There's still many years to make up and be okay. But 45 to 49, I think one of the issues is age. Actually, there's those things that you feel like you have to arrive somewhere.
Funny comment. Someone, Tintin says sometimes there's no help you can give someone depressed. It's suicide. I had a cousin, he says she had a cousin who killed himself. On the outside, he had everything going for him, and yet he ended his life at 21. A stranger who had attempted suicide a few times said his life felt like he had constant anxiety attacks. So the only way to end that sickening feeling is suicide.
Yeah. I actually heard that somebody was saying that I can't remember, but I think I watched a video or something, and the person was somebody who had been depressed and I got tried with suicide. It's like living with. It says, do you know how you feel kind of when you're anxious and your stomach is like, like you feel sick, you feel horrible. And your anxiety, your moon, anonga chinza kuita suicide. That's how they live all the time. Like we're trying to end that, but that's the thing. I think we have to stop doing with it. But he had everything in his life. Why did he do that? Because we are looking to he had everything in his life. So it makes us not look deeper and see if there's something wrong. In our eyes, it looks like they had everything going for them.
Yeah, comment. Muno UK, a black man is 4 times more likely to be sanctioned.
Yeah, I was
going white man. Can we also discuss this at some point? I'll be interested to hear your perspective. I think and we'll try also to see why is that. Is it just stigmatized or is it, I don't know. Is that something, is it, what is the call? Not even discrimination, to just think you are nothing, to sort of like it, I don't know how I'm trying to look for the word that they use, the right word for that. Maybe I'll think if we go.
Yeah, I was going to actually mention Guruji. They also say the highest males are not black men. Because they face a lot of things. They face a lot of discrimination, a lot of victimization. They face a lot of those things, I think. And then culture here is if you're strong, you don't show weakness ever. So I think that's another thing. And Warume don't discuss, they find it difficult to discuss their emotions. They don't discuss their emotions.
Weakness,
Ma?
it's a sign of, they think it's a sign of weakness.
Yeah. So as a man, a real man does not discuss emotions or show emotions. That's how, unfortunately, our male children are brought up. So you never feel like you can say, they never feel like they can say something to say, look, I'm going through something. I think there was something yakaitwa black musicians, male musicians, I can't remember who, muno mu UK, try and encourage black guys to talk about it, about mental health. For that reason, kuti black men are more likely, but black men go through a lot. Because in that some statistics today, kana wachika stop and say who is stopped and says the most.
But this is in the UK. But when you look at it, it's not only kuno. Kokumusha kusina stop and search yema black theater for America or wherever they are stopped and search.
No, but
The number is higher for
no,
men.
America it's still the same today. A black man is more likely to go to prison. A black man is more likely to be abused.
Where is that? You are talking of here in UK or diaspora?
America and UK.
What about home?
Home, it's the culture. Don't speak about it. It does not exist. It doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a man who is.
But they do it. Let me tell you, Kuti, they still kill themselves. Because I remember mwana womuramu wedu kwakarorwa sisi kuti akatobva kuchikoro nevamwe vake aita A levels vakatobva kuchikoro vese but vakazoenda muchibva vakazotsvagana mhene kwavakanga vatoda kuenda vakudeidzana kuti todai tichienda havangamuwani kwakuzomwana akasungira pamasikati iwayo pamuti womupamba chaipo in the middle.
No, but that's what Zandukutara and Tukuti. In black men, Kumba, a man who is down, a man who is depressed does not exist. That is what I mean.
You just have to stretch on.
You can't be depressed. That's weakness. You can't show emotion. That's weakness. Makamuona murume anochema.
Yanza uchemi munomukomana hachemi munomurume atanga ari mukomana achigozwa hauchemi munomurume hachemi ari mwana mukomana.
Yeah.
So should we allow our children to is that the way forward to allow our children to cry, to tell them that crying is okay? And spiritual attacks, generational cases have been opened. If one family member commits suicide, it might also open gates that future generations might also do the same.
Very true. That's one thing Anansha Taura as well could be. Suicide is a spirit in nature. It can go, it once, it then manifests. And you don't think it's just black people, white people as well. There is an author who was famous. He killed himself. His granddaughter killed herself. His brother killed himself. That is true. It is spiritual. But it's also a problem. Murume have achieved, murume aiti depressed, murume are successful, murume anogona provide for family yake. So what happens if they lose their job and there is nothing to provide for their family? Anozura because it's loss of face. You are not a real man when you've done that. So I think like I think Zakatanga equals, like here even with the Prince Harry and so on, they're going there. My musicians and all these famous people are starting to talk about mental health and so on. I think it's a good way of and to start thinking about mental health and allow people to be able to say, look, I'm not doing so good at the moment.
Yeah.
Without judging. Just to say, and then also sometimes just look out for people who say, you might notice something. Just go, how are you? How are you doing? Some people just need a how are you doing? Do you remember the interview I come to Meghan Markle? And this reporter said, how are you doing? And she said, you're the first person who's asked me how I am. And sometimes somebody just needs that. Are you okay? Sometimes they just need maybe to vent or just somebody to say, are you okay? Because sometimes when I don't think that as if they're alone, like nobody cares, like nobody notices or anything. It's like they don't exist. So sometimes what somebody needs is just to say, "Are you okay?" And here or just to have a cup of coffee. It's nothing. Ever. If you don't feel like talking about it, it's okay. Let's go for a coffee. You know, just hang out. Sometimes one on does something like that.
Akwe vanhu vari kunzoko tinokutendai ndiramboverenga imwe comment anzi naanti Anna, it's probably mental illness other than spiritual inclined, and I would just want to reiterate there. The other day I saw a lady, she was dressed well, really, padhuze nesend guys akabata teddy bear, a big teddy bear. But the problem was I was picking someone. If I wasn't picking someone, I wanted to come out of my car to talk to her. Because first time she was sitting down, it was a black woman. She was sitting down. I think I think something is not right here. But she was just well in a jean, a nice top and everything, but she was sitting against the wall. It could be mental illness or anything. But the lady who came into my car and I found out, is she all right? And that, where are you going? Can I go with you? And immediately I knew things are not right. So when I took the lady just down around the corner, and I was like, how is she? So how do we deal with this case? Because you see them every day. Okay, mental illness, Auntie Anna, is something very, I think, it's not even hidden anymore. It's there in the open. And what are we doing as a community, and especially since maybe we can, I was saying let's start with Zimbabwe, because the child begins at home, and the moon munotaura mese muchiunderstand the language and trying to speak to where they are. Do we have any organizations there? The Zimbabweans actually, dealing with mental health and support and all that. Anybody more audience, I know Ziva, so you can put it there for us.
Yeah. I've not heard of any Zimbabwean, but I know like people like Mind, I know the mental health people, but I've not actually looked for specific to do it like Zimbabwean or African. I must say I didn't look for that. I just looked for like mental health. And then the other issue at the moment is because of pandemic, we are with counseling. It's like 2 years waiting list.
They can't do it it doesn't work to do on Zoom.
No, then they can't. But they've got that much people on wanting the service. That's why 2 years waiting list. Your date for your go on quite 2 years from now.
That means the numbers are a bit higher.
Yeah, the pandemic increased because of isolation.
Isolation and loneliness.
Jobs, people are losing their jobs. People have lost their houses. People have lost their businesses. So mental health affect a lot. So there's a lot of people who affect as a result of pandemic. And when you look at my associations, I wonder they are overwhelmed. So that's why I think even dialogue, like as Malay person, is important, because somebody can be in a situation where they need to talk to somebody, but they can't talk to anyone, a professional, for 2 years. So yes, it can be mental health. I was also reading from they did a study. I think it was both UK and US, and Sterek was suicide with black men, but they found it was a lot of mental illnesses.
Okay, ndambotarisa something chanada kuti timboisa across kuti mastudies avanouya few things that I'm also going to ask the audience. Is this something that you can is it noticeable in some of our loved ones, some of the factors, the risk factors they put across? Could maybe with that we can also always be on the watch out and see this certain behavior in our loved ones, and and try to not panic, and try to take in what is the way forward, and try to talk to them and see with the common risk factors, let's say muvana vari kuchikoro, college and something, it's always bullying, isn't it? Bullying. Not
Yeah.
if your child is being bullied, but vana they are withdrawn.
Yeah.
Those are some of the symptoms. Mumwe anogona kunge atojaira kuve an actor sort of, anongoratidza kunge zvinhu zvese zviri right, but as a mother ndione mwana most of the time you can notice kuti mwana wako is not the usual biliwa nezuro, and wombowacha kuti maybe ndinhasi timudhine mukuta kuti maybe iteenager, but when you see it persistently going, it's right time maybe you talk to your child kuda kubvunza a bit, because they might not say they are being bullied, but you can try to investigate with it. Kuchikoro, how is he interacting nevamwe even during break time, pabreak pamanogara egari avhumbudzwa ariko anenge agara ari cowering, so gathering all that can show you kuti something is not right nemwana. Kune hanzi divorce or a relationship breakdown, that one I think a lot of us have got testimonies of that, because I think kana wanga uri relationship for years, uchifuna zvinhu zviri kufamba and you are working hard towards it, and then it just falls. And most of the time pamunoti hapana kokutangira. I remember I was a 18-year-old then. I tried to drink all the tablets because I thought this is the end of the world. So I'm not alone in this, but being a child, I just such a thing. But it happens even in Vanwakura in a relationship. And the history of physical and sexual abuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also even losing your job.
Yeah, I think it's all there. Increase loss of loved one through trauma or disease. Loss of loved one through trauma. I'll just highlight Nyaya Buddha India, a lady who lost her husband this week through COVID. Is it last week through COVID? And she was so rigged with grief that he committed suicide by going into the lake. Then he had 3. The 3-year-old saw mom going there. He also followed in there. So that means he also died by drowning. So that means there are 2 children who are left. And, I think she couldn't just handle the death COVID. Mental illness, which we're just talking about, which Auntie is highlighted, particularly where there's this is related to depression and painful or debilitating diseases or conditions. Not being able to form or sustain meaningful relationships. Also, that can make someone, because you end up being depressed, and it leads to that. Then not being social isolation, especially during now COVID or living alone. When you live alone, it's hard. As you get older, living alone becomes even more difficult. We won't go into that. Then unemployment, which you just said, then use of drugs and alcohol to help with emotions, relationships, the pressure of work, or other issues. These are just some of them. I think this is the one they've put in their studies to highlight my risk factors, which as communities or even as families or something, we can look out for these things and try to see if my loved ones, what is going on with them and what is it that we can help. But Nemutauro says, kubatsira munhu unga achida kubatsirwa, because kana vati kure vamwe vanoudza kuti I'm okay. So how do you help someone anoti ari okay? You want to kuti inini munhu haasi okay.
Then just it tells you even if you just not necessarily talking about issue I can't. Just say, oh come, let's have a coffee or something. You don't have to say to Natal. Some people are not comfortable talking about their feelings. Like I'm not Nemutauro. I prefer to work my emotions through by myself. But at that time, it would have been nice if somebody just said, "Sis Flo, let's go out for coffee," or "Sis Flo, coming over to your house, let's chat," or just talking, just to get my mind off being by myself. And I also, another thing is living with a chronic illness. living with a chronic illness in pain is really, really tough. Because especially because people my age don't understand how it feels to live with a chronic condition which impacts on your physical ability. Because like people say, but you don't look sick, you
We,
know.
do
Yeah,
they want to behave like P.S. Morgan? That is
yeah,
Megan is not mental. I don't think he
yeah,
is mental.
yeah. So they say you don't
You
look
don't
sick
look sick.
because it's what they call an invisible. It's an invisible disability.
Mm,
It's
mm,
called
mm.
an invisible disability because then then you would understand me. Okay, okay, I can see why she's saying this, or why she's doing this. But because I look normal, people don't
It
understand. Like
depends what is normal. What is you look normal? What is normal for them?
that's what people say because I don't look like maybe I'm not crying or I don't look sad
Okay.
or they say we can't tell you are in pain. We can't tell you are sick.
So you should be wincing when you're around people so that they notice you're in
Think I have
pain.
to cry or something or ouch every time some people know.
But
So
you know, Auntie Flo, ndichikubata abantu vose nguva yedu yakuda kutopera ndadangoisa mubvunzo wokuti you can answer a bit and then we also put to the people kuti pane nguva inonzi she drove him to suicide. Nekutaurisana kuti akamudriver into that. Mune kesi irimwe yekuamerica yekuti the lady vainetsana nepartner because even the partner was highlighting kuti ada kwasitodhevana nokuti the woman is delusional. And after that, she went and killed three children. Then she took the car, infanticide.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
she went to try to kill herself, but she couldn't. So in the end, she didn't die. Now she's in prison for life. But do you think we also think Isusu Sevano, you're not gonna put driver someone into that corner where they feel like a corner of the animal. You could have wished to continue. This is for us to continue on Wednesday. It will be the same topic. So I don't got it. But can someone really drive someone to commit suicide? So right, not past around 7 minutes. We still have to talk.
I in some instances I've always okay, I'll give you scenario like my times when one was worried because some kids started bullying them.
Mm.
There's a couple of stories I saw. I like watching true crime. So there's a couple of stories I saw. One, I can't commit a suicide because there were kids bullying her at school. And then one matter come to like they're telling her, why don't you just kill yourself? Oh, you're ugly. Do everybody a favor, kill yourself. Then this day she just thought back, fine, you're going to be happy today because I'm going to kill myself. Then they said, yeah, hurry up and go do it. Akaenda kanokura.
Mm.
So meaning in those instances, what do you think? Should those like social media, people are so mean to each other. It's
Yeah,
almost like we've forgotten that there's a person on the other end via social media.
yeah,
People are horrible. And then in that instance, what do you think? Should the law come in and be changed to Kanawada or you are it's actually you committed sort of like homicide because you are for someone who's died on those and the reason why they killed themselves is because of your behavior continuing on and on and on always on this person.
mm, mm.
Because now I've heard there's a lot of kids who have died because of that, exactly that. One, they moved schools, they moved towns, but when I was home there, because she go to a new school, she'd be happy. Those ones would find out where she is, right to all the guys who are going to school. Then she gets shunned again. So I got at this school, judge teachers say we moved schools, we moved towns. Now we don't know what to do.
It was really for internet. So
Yes.
school was nothing because this is cyber. So cyberbullying doesn't matter where you go, even if you go to Iceland or change Manama school. Cyberbullying, number 9 was number 2 tebera.
No, because but it's not changing schools, it's new people, hand, so it's a new
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
But unfortunately, the ones from the old school then found the new school and started sending them kutumuri, akaita so, and then the people in the new school started shunning the child again.
So do you mean maybe it's a society we are failing in some instances, cases. Was like finding a particular what is it that there should be something that can be done in order to deter this happening and happening. What change in school was not going. I think they've gone out in the media and just talk about them, put Maranga to announce and whatever they say, Papa, name and shame.
But it happens a lot. So I've thought maybe the law needs to come in where a person has to be held responsible where somebody kills themselves in that scenario. Because
after everything that has been happening.
So we want to know what do you think? Do you think the law should come in to start dealing with that? Should say, can those people take responsibility that if it was not for you, this person would never have done that. But it's because of your behavior and how you treated them that this has happened. Because even in schools, I bet kids, even in school, they get failed because bullying. They make them sign a contract. But people can ask the animal but it doesn't stop them from doing it. So what should we do? Should we start putting it into law? If you do that, it's the same as you took it and you killed that person.
There you go, guys.
Yeah, so we can end.
What some who bullied when they were children, they are still bullied in the place of because it's not only kids in the colleges or school. There's also workplaces where bullying is taking place.
Yeah, there is,
How, like as an adult, how do you deal with it in Basa? Let's say if a case of this happens, I'm just putting it out there. I think that's on 2 minutes, so I'll do it. I'll say something if it's another Bonyora party. And is it preventable? Suicide.
Sometimes it's not.
What structures by very well mind, studies by very well mind say it's not anyway, but
it's not
help or prevent. You need to watch and to also say, like you were saying, you need to talk to someone. Some people just need to be asking. Okay? Some people they'll break down. If you look into their eyes, you can see some tearing happening.
Yeah.
This is deep.
Yeah.
You look so drawn. Are you okay?
Yeah.
The usual self. There are some things you notice in a person, in a loved one, you know them. Auntie G, I'm not seeing I'm you can tell that Auntie G is not right.
Yeah.
Because you know how Auntie G is. So we know each other, say friends, especially close family and everything. We know each other very well. So if something is happening, don't look the other way. Because when we leave Gunana UK, they live individually.
Yeah.
Me, people don't care about anyone. Anyway, people have learned to be very selfish. I think it also goes like when you Rome, I think, but then this one doesn't work. When you Rome, do what you Rome do, because the Romans here, they don't do well. So for someone to say, it's not good. Auntie, you need to look for signs. Say something and also watch for the signs. Offer support. Help yet from help because the moment you just start matanga.
But it's not actual. Sometimes it's not actual help, like I said. When I want to my emotions out, like I've always been strong who deals with my stuff by myself. But some people don't actually want you to maybe hear the story of what's wrong. They just want to know that they are wanted by somebody. Somebody sees them. So just for you to say hi, are you okay? Some people just need that, just to say, are you okay? Not even going to just say, what is your problem? They don't even want to discuss the problem. Some of them is just that maybe they are lonely, or they feel like they're isolated, or they're not wanted, they're not needed.
Yeah.
So it just are you okay? Let's have a cup of coffee. So it depends. If it's somebody you know what type of person that is. Could be I know that my emotions are I my emotions. So can I sing how about just going for a coffee or for lunch or for coffee, or just come visit them or something. Just spend time with them without necessarily going through any issues. And then sometimes I was okay, I'm not being judged. then they can sometimes then open up and talk, because we are afraid of being judged. But maybe others will think badly about me, or maybe they'll think I'm like this. But when they see, okay, the person is okay, I can approach this person, I can trust them, then they'll open up and talk. Sometimes it's not even just talking about, I didn't want to talk about what I went through. I just needed people to get me there to say, look, take my mind off, just say I'm here. That's all. That was needed. But people don't understand that. So you just
wataura anti-flow yamataura right iyoyo is a point yokuti people don't say things, especially when they don't want to be judged. And we judge a lot. I think that's why some people clam up. They will never be open and tell anything because we judge. Or even say sometimes after open up kuna flow. Ini flow anusumuka akunota zvipapi mchiona vachifamba nema-Range Rover zviripi. Zvakazoti you find all your stuff yakubuda somewhere else, your business. Ndosaka vanhu vazopesa ngogara nazvo and then munhu achosipika kupa ega let's stop that. And also let's not ignore signs, but only tanga the World Voice Day, yes, 16 February, yakapura. And what does it mean? And it's a day that encourages people to voice their health and take action, improve, or mention whatever they are going through. This is also about opening up. So we should not wait for that, for the health, a day that's celebrated. Every day is celebrated as the Voice Day. We need every day to just, embrace that with you. I can't keep everything in. There's no matter because every time you keep things in, they will fester. When they fester, they smell and they will burst. So I some archives, negative things that will come up and they keep on rolling in. So they will fester. When they fester, they're very bad effect. Nduru by mistake, spoil everything. So I think 2 minutes until to pay that's the.
Just quickly, we are going to put my different places where people can find help per post.
All right. Saka kuisa a few more things zokuti ndachifungwa kuti kana kune vanozivawo kumwe kwokuti even maZimbabweans they can go kune vamwe kwakadaro kuti tinobatsirwa as a community munoisawo, and we are also going to look around see kuti tingaise mamwe mapost ipapo with anti-flow toisa mapost ekuratidza kuti vanhu vangakwanisika kubatsirwa sei. But don't ignore because we can't wait to end up with community group. We are the community, we need to do it ourselves. Even if your best friend or your friend or someone you know, just if you know there's something, all of us, God talks to us. There are times when taura nemunhu cannot think that voice kudaro enda unotaura nemunhu. The Lord will give you the wisdom and the right words to say to the person. Haikona kuignore kana message yauya kwamunhu taura naye because vanenge vatoona something is not right from here. We are the voices of the vessels. We are all vessels. So and this is I don't know if anything is there we can was not talking about
every 90 minutes in the UK there is suicide.
But that's really sad. Like what Mucha said before, it's really sad. And is there something we can do? We can't just break and have statistics. We need those statistics not to be there if God helps us. And we just want to do our bit. You do your thing, we all do our thing. And actually, the if in some workmates something is worrisome and people worry, it means something there. There's no peace without fire. So listen to your voice. The voice will tell you so tinogara kuti vanhu mukaisa maquestions or mukaisa something chokuti tigotoringawo zvinobatsira nokuti isu tiri two we are not experts, but we need all of you so that we work together as a team as we try to help each other. I don't know, I will just say thank you and a happy Sunday, and hopefully the week will be great for you guys. And like I said, I will plead the blood of Jesus on each and every one of you, and that will be looked after with your shepherd. It cannot be in one. And we meet on Wednesday. God bless, and I love you. My signature kiss. Bye.